It's time for Ask Your Auntie, the show that gets real with teen girls about life. They ask, and we answer with tea. Tools for excellence and achievement. The goal? To help girls make better decisions in real time. When you can't ask your mom or G-Ma, ask your auntie. Now here's your host, Marissa Terrell, Esquire.
Got questions? Ask your auntie. I'm Marissa Terrell, but you can call me Auntie M, and I'm the director of the High Tea Society Foundation and the host of this podcast, Ask Your Auntie, where we provide teen girls, also known as sugars, with reliable answers to their questions. Let's meet our guest for today. This is Auntie Angela. Welcome.
Hello.
Hey. Now, how long have we known each other?
Our whole lives.
Our whole lives. This is my big sister, Angela, or I like to say Ange. This is Ange. The kindest, most considerate person I know, really a prayer warrior and a phenomenal mama bear. She's such a good mama. But she's also a career woman, okay? She is a filmmaker who got her start in television working with Connie Chung. I love saying that. Yes, just because she was such a maverick. But you're also, have a degree in film, a master's. From where?
I do, from American University.
From America. That's a tough program.
Yes, it was great. It was really the foundation for everything that I'm doing right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So tell us about what you're working on now. I know you have a current film project.
I do. So I'm so excited. Thank you for this opportunity. And hello, sugars. So I worked in television for a long time, took a break, and stayed home with my kids for about 10 years. And now I'm getting back into my calling, really. And so what the Lord laid on my heart about 13 years ago to do was to produce a film called Women of Faith Coping with Trauma. And a lot of times churches don't really get into trauma and the specifics of what's going on in people's lives. We've got our scriptures, we've got our hymns, but Lord placed on my heart to really delve deep into child abuse. And so it's a little heavy subject, but something that I think everyone can relate to, whether they've been personally affected by it or someone in their family, or they at least know about it. We hear all these stories about child trafficking these days. It's getting more awareness. People are starting to really talk about these things. And so I produced a film 4 or 5 years ago called Women of Faith Coping with Trauma. And I interviewed 4 ladies from Prince George's County, each of whom had experienced childhood sexual abuse. But they tell their journey of how they have been able to find love and hope and peace and joy again. They all have families. They're all doing great things. And so I wanted to explore that. I wanted to see, how did you do that? What were your scriptures? What were your songs? How did you manifest this new life for yourself? Because something like that could take people out.
Absolutely.
They could be addicted to drugs. They could prostitute themselves. They could just be a mess. Alcoholism, any kind of addiction. And so because they don't know how to sort of pull themselves out of that space. And so I thought it was important to do this 1-hour film, showing people, sharing with people how to do that. So. Yeah.
Right. And it's very timely. We talked about with the High Tea Society that many of the reasons why our girls, that crazy statistic that we know that Black girls are the fastest population entering into the juvenile justice system, a direct result of trauma.
Yep.
Adultification, distracted parents. We know what the causes are. So isn't it wonderful to have a resource that we can not just talk about the bad, but to figure out a path forward?
Correct.
So where are we going to find this wonderful film, Angela? Where can we find it?
I really appreciate that. So I've finished the film and I've done the website. So it's www.womenoffaithfilm.com. So it's a little long. womenoffaithfilm.com. But we've got the film there. The full film is posted there. Resources are there. Extended interviews are there. So I'm really excited about it. And so my calling for 2025 is to get this film out and to share it to churches, conferences, and colleges all over the area. So if anyone's interested, just go to the website. They can fill out a form, and I'd be happy to engage with them.
Right, yeah. Angela's has been all over the place sharing this film and hearing the stories of others and just providing these resources. So for our sugars out there, I know just because of the statistics that someone that you know, or maybe even yourself have experienced some sort of trauma, here's a place where you can go to maybe see there is some hope on the other side. Maybe there'll be something to inspire you, or maybe something that you might learn that can sort of help you even just get through today.
Correct.
So, right.
Very good.
Because it's not easy.
Right. And counseling, if I could just say,
Please.
that is very important, in the African-American community. We don't talk about counseling enough. There's more of an awareness also about mental health these days, which is great. But is that conversation trickling down to the Black community? So Taraji Henson, she's got her foundation in honor of her dad. And so she's doing really great things, really vocal and getting out there, going to the colleges and talking about the importance of mental health. But many people in our sugars may not know mental health. When you're talking about mental health, what does that really mean? Well, what it means is that just like you go to a doctor for your physical body, go to an eye doctor, you go to a general practitioner for your body, you can also go to someone who can help you with your thinking, with your emotions, with your thoughts, and to help you sort of manage life differently. One of the ladies in my film, she says, we all need a therapist. She said, I will have a therapist till the day I die, because we all need someone that we can share in an unbiased way our thoughts, our thought patterns, what we want to achieve, and how to get there. And so it's just so helpful to have somebody help you navigate your brain, your thoughts, your thinking, because this world is just a crazy place to be in. So I like to refer people to Therapy for Black Girls, because there's a whole list of Black women therapists. You can scroll through all the pictures, sugars, and you can find somebody who, looks like you or is in your city or specializes in whatever topic you want to talk about. And they're all open and willing to help. And these are Black women. So you don't have to worry about any barriers, of getting through, learning to know somebody new or anything like that. These are people that look like us. And so I'm so glad that that site is up. So Therapy for Black Girls is a great resource.
It is a great resource.
I
follow her.
Yeah.
She's good.
She's really good.
And she sort of flipped her Instagram. It's getting a little broader.
Yep. And she has a podcast.
She's got a podcast.
She's doing
That's
great.
right.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's doing really great things. She really broke the mold for us to be able to, for Black women in particular, to be able to talk to each other about mental health.
With
that it's okay.
No judgment.
No judgment. Right. It's so important. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so as we move into sort of the next phase of our conversation, I forgot to ask you, how do you take your tea?
I like green tea with honey.
Green tea with you
Very
and Daddy
simple.
with the honey.
Yeah,
Okay.
I picked that up because they're living in my house, so there's lots of honey around. Yeah. So yes.
Okay, yeah, that's that. Thank you. Right, green tea. I have, as I've gotten older, I can now have developed a taste for it. Before I used to be like, why is this so bitter?
Yeah,
but also it has a lot to do with how long you steep it, right?
Yeah, true.
Okay,
I love it. Yep.
All right, so for our sugars out there, you know the drill, right? We cannot take directions from someone who is lost. So I feel like we're getting to know AunTea Angela a little bit better, but I'd love to ask her some more questions. But is there anybody you want to dedicate this podcast to before we get into?
I'll dedicate this to my own two daughters who are 16 and 17. So Joy is 16 and my daughter Jordan is 17. We're in the process of looking at colleges and she's got a big life transition coming up this year for her. She'll be in college in September.
Can't believe it.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I'll dedicate my efforts here to them.
Okay,
yes.
Great. To my nieces?
Yes.
Okay, so here, Auntie Ange, tell us all about yourself. What is your full name?
Angela Ronnie Terrell.
And Ronnie.
Yes.
How are you spelling Ronnie?
R-A-N-I.
Okay, so that's not just like your traditional, like Ronnie. What is this? Have a special significance?
Yes, it does. So, mother, as you well know, spent time in the Peace Corps and went in India, Andhra Pradesh, India. And when she came back, she was fight the power.
Make the curry, lots of curry.
Yes.
Fight the power.
Yes, fight the power.
Sorries everywhere.
Yes. And so she named me Rani, which means queen in Hindu.
How appropriate.
And it's after an Indian female justice warrior named Rani, Queen of Jhansi. And so it's Rani, which means queen. And so I was so excited when I met somebody years ago, and he said, Rani, queen. I was like, wow, you know that. He's like, well, yeah, of course. So again, exposure, right?
Exposure.
There are some people, this is not strange, but yeah, it's Rani, R-A-N-I.
Okay, so where do you live these days? Are you in?
I'm in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. I'm a Marylander now. I miss the city. I wish I hadn't sold my house in D.C. Sugars, if you ever have have property in the city, don't ever sell it.
Never sell.
No matter what the cost, just keep it, rent it, do something, Airbnb it, do something. Because I sure wish I had that property in D.C., but I'm in Maryland now, yes.
Okay. But she grew up in D.C. What part of the city did you grow up in?
Southeast D.C.
Southeast D.C.
Although people don't call that Southeast.
They don't.
I tell people.
What do they say?
I don't know.
Hillcrest?
Yeah, they say Hillcrest is not Southeast, but it's Southeast. That's what the address is.
Yeah, we had to take the 30 bus, the 32, the 34, the 36.
Right, going down Pennsylvania Avenue. But somebody said, that's not Southeast. You know.
Okay.
Yeah. That's not the real Southeast.
We're going to put a pin in that?
Yes, great.
Okay.
Great.
D.C. has really changed a lot, but we have been all over the city, Anacostia, Alabama, all over the place. Okay, so as a teen, I'm trying to picture you back before, I guess during the time when I was always borrowing your clothes.
Yeah.
What kind of responsibility did you have in the house?
In the house, my room was the living room. I had to keep the living room clean.
That's right.
Yes,
that was your room.
that was my room.
Mine
I
was
had
the dining room, which is harder.
You think
Much
so?
harder. Nobody could go in the
went
living
in the
room.
living room. But it was bigger.
It was bigger.
It was bigger.
Much
So
bigger. Lots of things to dust.
lots of things to dust. And that glass and getting under the glass and fluffing all those pillows. And
How funny you remember that.
yeah, that was my job. And then, of course, we had dishes.
Dishes.
Right? Mother could not come home with dishes in the sink.
No dishes in the
Remember, she
sink.
would
And then
have a
everybody
fit.
had a meal day.
We did. Oh, I
Okay,
don't
now wait a
remember
minute.
that.
Your meal of choice was beef stroganoff.
Beef stroganoff. I did love beef stroganoff. Yes.
I don't remember what mine was, but that was yours.
Yeah, I loved it. I don't ever remember making it though.
Yes.
I did?
Yes, that was what
Okay.
you always made.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It was
okay.
great. Yes, my favorite dish.
High school.
Yes.
Where'd you go?
Georgetown Visitation Preparatory School for Girls.
That's a big name.
It is.
Was it as stern as that sounds?
I had a great experience at Visitation.
Yeah.
I
What was so great about it?
I think it was, well, let me back up. When I graduated, in hindsight, I can say, I had a great experience there. But starting out, it was rough. It was a big transition from Our Lady Queen of Peace, where I thought I was a great student. I did my work and I had decent grades, and you were always on the honor roll, and so I was always so jealous of that. But I just didn't do my work. I just had lots of different interests and couldn't settle.
No, you would do one thing. You would take every year, the first test you would get an A, and then you're like, okay,
I was like, I'm good. And I'm still like that, you know? I clean the house.
I can do it, but okay, great. I've got other things to do now.
Right. But starting out, it was a transition, just the workload and just adjusting to going that far across the city. It was in Georgetown, folks. It was a predominantly white girls' institution, very few of us in the class. And then those of us who were in the class didn't necessarily get along, you know, which is sad to me.
Sad.
Because it was like the Black girls, they had to compete, but then we were competing against each other. The Black girls were competing against each other. And so it's just like, but there's room for everybody. You know, I can say that now. But at that time, it was just, well, I got to protect what's mine. And that crabs in the bucket type mentality. Sugars, if you don't know what that means, it's just like, the community of Black people didn't necessarily support one another. It was, there's only one, you only got one shot, and there's only one spot. There's one scholarship for Black girls, and that's it. And it's going to be mine. So it was, I did experience some of that the freshman year, but then it sort of resolved itself. And so by the time I graduated, I was president of the Black Women's Society, and we put on a fashion show, and I worked in the library. So I kind of knew everybody on campus. People would come to the library. I worked at the reference desk. And so it was good. I think at the end, I was able, as I progressed through high school, I realized that at the end of the day, we all wanted the same thing. I mean, as teenage girls, we wanted to go there. Our parents were sending us there. I don't know if we all wanted to be there by choice, but that at the end of the day, we wanted to get good grades. We wanted to have a boyfriend. We wanted to be liked. You know, we wanted to be popular, or we wanted to have good health and good hair, and we wanted to go to college. We wanted to have nice clothes. So at the end of the day, Black, white, Indian, whatever, you know, we all ultimately kind of wanted the same things. And so I appreciated the experience that I had there because we were girls. We didn't have to worry about, you know, boys and you know, really fixing ourselves up and dolling up every day, but we just kind of could be and grow.
Yeah.
And so,
weren't afraid to speak up in class. You didn't have that.
Right.
Not
Right.
Yeah, you could excel.
Right.
Without.
Right. So it was good. I mean, overall, I had a great experience.
Yeah, all girls schools have a benefit, or so Daddy has said.
Yeah.
Right? He has insisted.
Yeah.
But they do.
I think there's some truth. There's some value in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like we've gotten to know Auntie Angie a bit.
Yes.
I feel like I am ready to hear more.
Okay.
Because we don't take directions from anyone who's lost. So here we go.
Yes.
How do I know when I'm hearing God's voice versus another voice?
Yeah. That's tough.
There's so many voices in our heads right
there
now.
Are. But and I think that's really just because of our society now more than ever. We've got podcasts. We've got cell phones. We've got TVs. We've got iPads. We've got TVs in every house. And there's the radio. And then there are friends. And then there's social media.
Chatter all the time.
Chatter all of the time. And I think it's just so important to just quiet the noise. Like, we just have to stop.
It's not easy to do that.
Resist. It's so difficult. I mean, first thing in the morning, you wake up and then the alarm is blaring with the news or with whatever. I don't do that anymore because it was literally driving me crazy. But just making time to hear the voice of God, being more intentional about the space that you give God, because God's not going to shout over all of the noise if you're not giving him time to hear him, right? Like, we have to be intentional. So what does that look like for me? So sugars, it's important to me now. I can say I'm 53, but what I've learned over my 53 years of existence is that it is important for me to attend church on Sunday. Why? Because that is a time where I'm able to fellowship with other people who want the same thing. They want to hear from God. They want to get biblical instruction for their lives, how to navigate the week. So we're all there for the same purpose. And then for those of you who don't know, Sugars, Marissa has a beautiful voice and sings on Sundays. And so the music and the fellowship and the word all help center me, ground me for the start of the week. So that's one big thing. But then throughout the week, it's very important for me to say my prayers at night. I mean, I'm now to a point where I can pray for an hour.
Wow.
Easy. Like, have my devotional. I brought it. But it's a daily devotion. This is In Touch magazine. It's simple, Sugars. It's monthly. They send it to you. It's free. It's just a short little page, half a page with a scripture, and it at least gives me something to start with. And so I can start with that, and then I can build on it. And so whatever that scripture is sharing with me for the day, it's always relevant. And it's a great starting point. So I'll read it at night and I'll read it again in the morning. So I read it twice. So,
and the thing is that because, as you mentioned, we're so bombarded, if you don't remind yourself of these touch points, remind yourself of what you should and shouldn't be doing, you start to wander off the path.
Oh, it's very easy.
And then you look up and you're like, how did I get here?
Yeah.
How did I get into this bad situation? It's because you forgot the rules.
Yep. I'll give you a great example. And I'm not immune. Last night, busy day, got upstairs to get ready for bed, like around 10 o'clock. I'm like, oh, great. I can get into bed early. Did not happen. Why? Because I go into my bedroom. It's quiet. I close the door. I pick up my phone. I hadn't picked it up for I said, well, let me just check and see if I had any messages, because I hadn't looked at my phone for like a good 4 hours. And so I picked it up and had a couple of text messages from the kids. And then I saw your questions for today. But that wasn't even what distracted me. Then I said, okay, I'm going to take a shower. I'm going to listen to music. And what happens? I click on YouTube to find the song.
And you fell into the rabbit hole.
Got distracted. An hour and 15 minutes later, after scrolling on YouTube of nonsense, Diddy's twins going to a basketball game, dogs, King Corsos, who are so protective, but they're so cute when they're little. But look how they grow. A man who rescued a tiger, and now when he was a baby tiger, And now the man came back to the reserve, and then the tiger remembered the man and like ran up to him, and I had tears in my eyes. And like, an hour and 15 minutes later, I twisted my hair at 1 o'clock this morning.
Oh, no.
Because I lost that time.
Yeah, and it happens to all of us.
It's so bad.
Like,
so Sugars, put the phone down.
Like I have now. I don't even have it near me, near the bed, because in the morning I cannot do that.
Can't.
I have to say, first thing, thank you, God, for this and that. Help me get through this day, blah, blah, blah. That's what you got to do. Otherwise, you just...
Yeah.
Well, let me get into these questions, girl. We could talk all day and all night. Okay, here we go.
I'm ready.
How do I figure out which college fits me best? Now, we know that college is not for everybody. But for the folks who want to go, how do we know which one fits?
Absolutely. I'm going through this right now with my daughter. She's a senior in high school. We have applied to some schools. I think it really gets back to your purpose. I try to encourage my girls that through prayer, spend time asking the Lord what it is with my unique skills, abilities, my talents. Lord, what is it that you want me to do? Why did you place me here, Lord? Why? Like, why am I here, right? So, but spending time with that, you get to get an understanding. Like my middle daughter, she's got strong leadership skills. She's a very clear thinker. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's either black or white with her. Like either we're doing it or we're not doing it. There's nothing real soft about her. You know, she's very intentional. She knows what she wants.
She's mommy.
She's exactly like her grandmother. And so for her, it was easy in a sense to know that as we're looking at colleges, she also plays volleyball. And so we factored that into the equation, like any schools that have volleyball. But for her, she thinks she might want to go into nursing. So we were looking at nursing programs. But I said, well, Jordan, I don't know if you have really that bedside manner. You know,
or she's going to want to be taking directions like that.
Exactly, from people.
From everybody.
In that sense.
From everybody on the team.
Exactly. The doctors, other nurses, et cetera, et cetera. I said, well, I'm not sure. But the reason she's interested and drawn to it is because she likes the human body.
Yeah.
So she likes science, loves science. Okay. I'm like, okay, well, let's explore other instances or degrees or majors that are in the sciences. So anyway, picking a college to answer your question, I think, you're looking obviously for your major, what you think you might want to study, or it at least has the areas that you think you might want to study. She wants to play volleyball, so there has to be a volleyball team. She determined that she didn't want to go to a school in a city. She wants the suburbs. Yeah, we visited one school. We went to three girls and visit in downtown Philadelphia, and she did not like the city at all. She doesn't like just random people walking through the campus, but she wants a campus that has activities and nice dorms and good food. And so we were able to just say, okay, who are you, Jordan? And what are the things that you like? Let's find something to match your sensibilities.
So it really is, you have to know yourself to be able to make that decision.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
How about this? Lots of our kids are are in family situations where their parents are divorcing or separating or fighting, whatever. Just there's a little discord.
Yes.
So here's a question. How can I support a friend whose parents are getting a divorce?
Yeah, that's tough. Really, really tough, particularly because you're in high school and you got all of these transitions happening. Your body is changing. You're thinking about colleges. Your parents are pressuring you to get good grades. You're trying to be active. You've got a little more sense of independence because you've got a license now. And then what does that mean for a curfew at night and all of these different things? And so you want your home life to be stable. And so I understand this. I myself, unfortunately, experienced a divorce last year and a half ago. And so for our girls, it was very important to me that they understood that this one had nothing to do with them. And oftentimes it doesn't have many times, 99.9% of the time. Sugars, if this is your household, it doesn't have anything to do with you. Mm-hmm. It's more of your parents needing to understand that, be on the same page as far as their goals and what they value, that it's very important. So it's a lesson for you, Sugars, if this is your experience or not. It's very important that you align yourself with people who share your same goals? What do you both want out of life? What do you value? Do you value going to church every Sunday like I do? If you're with a partner who doesn't value the same thing, then it makes it difficult. So sugars, your friend group, when you start to date, be sure that you're aligning yourself with someone who shares your same values and your same goals. And so another thing I'd say also is just finding the support. There's something called divorce care for kids, and then divorce care for adults. But it's a support group that it's a curriculum. It's free. It's on Saturdays or whenever. Churches have it. Churches will offer it. So you just go to divorcecare.com and you can find a site near you. They do it virtually. And sugars, maybe it's something that you even share with your parents, whether they're divorced or not, but the churches have these resources that could help them. So I'd say, thirdly, forgiveness. You got to learn forgiveness. If this is something that you're experiencing, I find a couple of friends where you all can do a forgiveness journey. Mm-hmm. Like you guys can study, like, what does it mean to really forgive somebody? Like, what does it mean? How do you do that? What are the steps to forgive? Because sugars, you don't want to carry that hurt, that pain, that discord, that discomfort, that disappointment with you in your life. It has nothing to do with you, sugars. Nothing to do with you. You are whole and you are happy and you can live a great life. So this does not define you, sugars. You can move on and you can be the great, beautiful butterflies that you are.
Yes, I love that. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, I love that. I'm feeling elevated.
Yes.
Here's something. We got a lot of jocks out there. Okay.
Yes.
We got folks who are juggling school and games. That was never my ministry.
Yes.
But there are a lot of people that have this.
Yes.
So what's the best way to handle losing a big game? You put your all into it.
Yeah.
You've practiced. You've studied on the weekends. You got your whole life organized. You're so regimented.
Right.
And then you lose.
Well, yes.
What do you do?
I think at the end of the day, you start to understand that that's life. Like there are going to be valleys. You're just kind of riding a wave. If you think of like a wave in ocean, there are ups and there's downs, but you keep moving forward. The waves keep coming, and so you learn to navigate it, but it's difficult. It's disappointing. I think it does build character. At the end of the day, I mean, all my kids have played sports. My son, I didn't mention, he's 21. He's a student at Bowie State, music technology major, does great things. But the three of them all played sports. And they've come to an awareness to know that you win some, you lose some. Somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose. Right. But you have to ask yourself at the end of the day, did I give my 100%? Did I give it everything I had to do? Because you can only be responsible for you. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is going to be our last question because we have kikied too much here today.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
What's something about high school that you wish someone had told you before you started?
Let's see. I guess I'd go back to the point I did make about just coming to an understanding that we're all there for the same thing. So if you are in class if you have a friend or meet someone who's Caucasian or Indian or Italian or European or Spanish or whatever, at the end of the day, if you all are the same age, you kind of wanting the same type of things.
Lots of commonalities. Find them.
Find the commonalities. That's exactly right. That you all are more alike than you're different. And I know that's can be deemed as a cliche, but you really are at the end of the day. You want some of the same things out of life. And so I would just say, come in unafraid. Like you are there, you have purpose, God created you, you've already defined your unique skills, abilities, your talents, and what you bring to the table. Wake up in the morning understanding that the world needs me. The world needs my voice, needs to hear my voice, and I will not shrink. I will not cower. I will not hide. I can be my authentic self. Right on, right? Like I wish somebody had told me because I'm talking now, but like in high school, I was a bit of a wallflower. Middle school, I was just my skirt. They called me, my nickname in high school was Sexy Ronnie Baby because my skirt, it had to be below my knee because the Reverend James Terrell would be checking and the Judge Mary would be checking as I left, and the skirt had so much fabric, I couldn't even roll it like the girls did because then I'd have this tire around my waist. So they always tease me, sexy Ronnie baby, because my skirt would be below,
I
like
did
well
not
below
know
my
that.
knee. Yes, indeed. So be unafraid, be unapologetically you, sugars, and you'll be great.
And on that note,
Yes.
we want to thank Auntie Angie for being here today. Thank you for sharing your tea with us.
Yes.
Growing up in DC is hard, but sugar, you don't have to do it alone. Join us every week for reliable answers to your questions. I'm Auntie M, Director of the High Tea Society. You can find us on Instagram at High Tea Society, INC, and I'm spelling that with an HIGHTEA, Society, INC. If you want to donate, we love that. You can send us a donation. Just text the wording purple tea, one word, to 44321, and we would happily accept that wonderful donation. We have the tea to help girls succeed, tools for excellence and achievement.
You've been listening to Ask Your Auntie with your host, Marisa Terrell, Esquire. The transition from girlhood to womanhood can be difficult without guidance. We have the tea to help girls succeed. When you can't ask your mom or G-Ma, ask your auntie.